जय शिशि गुरु गौरंग गंधार्विक गिरिधारी शिशि राधा विनोद बिहरी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्यालप विष्णु विष्णुपार शतर शत शिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्यालप विष्णु विष्णुपार शतर शत शिमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्याल विष्णु विष्णुपार शतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपार की जाय। नित्याल विष्णु विष्णुपार शतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्याल विष्णु विष्णुपार शतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपार की जाय। नित्याल विष्णु महा भगवत श्री गोरक्षरस बाबूजी महाराज की जाय। नित्याल विश्व शुद्ध सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जाय। नित्याल विष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जाय। श्री रूपानु गौरिया गुरु वर्ग की जाय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जाय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जाय। नाम चय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौरमंडल व्रजमंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माय की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। जय श्री चैतन्य शिक्षाष्टक की जय। जय श्री सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि की जय। श्री कृष्ण रस कविराज गोस्वामी पाद चैतन्य चरितमृत की जय। श्रील भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर भजन-rahasya की जय। जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्ण। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। श्रीसिद्धान्तसरस्वतीति विदितो कोडियगुर्वन्वये भातो भानुरिव प्रभातगगने योगोरसङ्कीर्तनाय मायावारतिमिङ्गिलोदरगतान् उद्धृत्य जीवनिमान् कृष्णप्रेमसुधाब्धिकाहनसुखां प्रादात् प्रभुं तं भजे। वन्दे भक्तिविनोदं श्रीगौरशक्तिस्वरूपकं भक्तिशास्त्रज्ञसम्राजां राधारससुधानिधिम्। नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुकवरायते श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। वृषभानुसुतान्वितवामतनुं यमुनातटनागरनन्दसुतं मुरलीकलगीतविनोदपरं भज गोद्रुमकाननकुञ्जविदुं। स्मर गौरगदाधरकेलिकलं भवगौरगदाधरपक्षच्छर शृणु गौरगदाधर Charukathang bhajago drumakanana kunjavidum. Tvayvasmi na jivami tvaya vina iti vigyaya devi tvang nayamang charanantikam. Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshay Shiptashtakamaditaranga madhe Kripa mai tvam sharanam prapanna Vrinde namaste charana ravindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Saruparaya Sangha Harsha Shesha Ghoshanam Shikshanashtakakya Krishna Kirtanaika Poshanam Prema Nama Matra Vishwa Jivanaika Sambaram Prema Dhama Devameva Naumi Gaura Sundaram Premorbhavitahर्षेर्योद्वेगदैन्यार्तिमिश्रितम् लपितङ्गुरचन्द्रस्य भाग्यवर्भिर्निषेव्यते प्रभुर्शिक्षाष्टकश्लोक जय परे शुने कृष्णे प्रेम भक्ति तार बारे dine dine. Whoever reads or hears the Lord Shikshashtak verses will find their prem bhakti to Krishna growing more and more each day by day, dine dine. It will bade, it will increase, it will grow more and more. And how will that increase? What is the actual process of doing it, of going through Shikshashtak in a way that will make our prem bhakti to Krishna increase or bring us closer to prem bhakti? Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains. We're going to recite this now in the beginning of each of our programs. What we went over yesterday. Where is it though? Here it is. And I'm curious if anybody memorized this verse yesterday. Okay, but tam nirvyajam bhajagunanidhim pavanam pavananam shraddharajanmatiratittaram uttama shlokamolim prodyan anta karanakuhare hantayannama bhanor Abhasopi kshapayati mahapataka. So the meaning is sincerely, nirvyajam, without any deceit, duplicity, with complete sincerity, bhaja tung, worship, bhaja tung, him, atitaram, wholeheartedly, worship him without deceit, completely sincerely, and atitaram, wholeheartedly, with a mind that is Shraddha Rajan, which is enlivened with faith, with Shraddha. And then it explains three different things. That he is Guna Nidhim. Worship who? Who is that? Who is that him? He is Guna Nidhim. He is Pavanam Pavananam. And he is Uttama Shloka Molim. So he is an ocean, a reservoir of divine qualities. Guna Nidhim. He is the purifier of all purifiers. Pavanam Pavananam. He's a supreme purifier among all purifiers. And Srila Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, in his translation, he says that he purifies even the purifiers. And he is the molim. Molim means foremost of those who are glorified with the choicest verses. Try to think of any type of praise, the best types of praises. Well, he is the foremost of those who are glorified with the best types of praises. Uttama shloka molim. Okay, why is he so why is he so like what is an example of how he's so glorious? Well, we know that he's non different from his name. And even just the faintest glimmer, the faintest dawn, the abhas of that name, even just the faintest dawn of that name, which is like the sun, Nama Bhanu, Bhanu means sun. When that prodyan, when that name, that son of the name arises in the heart, then just even the faint glimmer, the dawning of that sun, when it arises within the kuhare means it within the cave of the antakarana of the inside of oneself, which means the heart and the mind, the consciousness, when it arises, then kshapayati, it completely eradicates, destroys mahapataka dvantarashim, the massive darkness of the greatest sins. Mahapatak. Dvanta means the night or darkness, and Rashi means the mass. What's the mass? For with time without beginning, we've been accumulating and becoming more covered in darkness and more darkness. And like we have unlimited darkness, but just the dim glow of that name will completely eradicate that darkness and bring light into our heart. And so this is the before Shikshashtakam. This is the verse. This Srila Rupa Goswami quoted in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. It's from Padma Purana, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur uses this verse to introduce the Shikshashtaka. Because he just before this, he went through all the stages from Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha Bhajana Kriya Nartana Vritti Nishna Ruchi Asakti Bhav Prem. He showed how the Mahamantra relates to all these stages, how the verses of Shikshashtaka relates to all these stages. And then he gave a warning that at any point, no matter how high you make it, if you fall into bad association, you're going to fall down. And so be very careful. Stay far away from bad association. And now, okay, let's start from the beginning. Starting from the beginning practice when before we're chanting Shuddhanam, we're just chanting Namabhas, and we have Shraddha Rajan Matir. So this is the step one. And just the Abhas of the name will, yeah. And this chapter is called Nishanta, the end of night. And so the night is like ignorance, darkness, the great sins and ignorance and all that. And then at the end of that night is when you begin chanting Namabhas, and before the sun even rises, it's now starting to remove all that darkness, all that ignorance. That's Harinam. Okay. So then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Parama Pavana Krishna Tahar Charan Nishkapata Shraddha Saha Koroho Bhajan. Krishna is Parama Pavan. He is supremely purifying. So, Koroho Bhajan. Perform bhajan of Tahar Charan, of his lotus feet, with Nishkapat Shraddha, with faith. Saha means with Shraddha, that is completely free from any duplicity, any deceit, sincere faith, guileless faith. Jar nama Suryabhas antare praveshi dhvangsha kore mahapap andakar rashi. Whose name? Jar nam. When his name, the Suryabhas, when the slight dawning of the sun of the name, antare praveshi, having entered antare within, Dvangsa kore, it eradicates, it destroys. Mahapap andhakarashi, the mass of darkness of Mahapap, of the greatest, most grievous sins. So, Paramapavana Krishna, Tahara Charan, Nishkapata Shraddha Saho, Koroho Bhajan, Jar Nama Surya Bhas, Antare Praveshi, Dvangsha Kore Mahapap, Andhakar Rashi. Such a beautiful verse, huh? Um, now, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is explaining the methodology, the pranali for attaining siddhi, for attaining perfection. So he goes through these verses, and now in our Shikshashtak program, we'll recite these verses every single day, so that this point about how this Shikshashtak is the method, this is our process, and how do we follow this method of Shikshashtak? This is the basic guidelines. So, E Shikshashtak kohe Krishna Lila Kram, Ihate Bhajana Krame Lilar Urgam. This Shikshashtak tells of the sequence of Krishna's pastimes. E Shikshashtake kohe tells Krishna Lila Kram, the sequence of Krishna's pastimes. Ihate, in it, Bhajana Krame Lilar Urgam. In it, through the systematic practice of bhajana krame, lilar udgam, the Lord's pastimes awaken. Udgam means awakens. Pratame pratama shlok bhajo kichu din, dvitiya shlokete tabe hoto pravin. Pratame, first of all, pratam shlok, the first verse, bhajo kichu din, engage with that verse, follow that verse, worship that verse for some days. Kichu din means some days. And when you do that, then shloka dvitiya shlokete tabe hoto pravin. Then, tabe means then, hoto, you will become pravin, proficient in dvitiya shloke, in the second verse. So if you engage with the first verse for some days, sincerely, faithfully, then after some days, you'll become proficient in the second verse. Chari shloke kramasha bhajana pakva koro. Panchama shlokete nija siddha deha varo. Chari shloke. So through these first 4 verses of Shikshashtak, then kramasha, gradually, bhajana pakva koro. Mature your bhajan. Pakva koro means mature. Mature your bhajan. Bring your devotional, your bhajan to maturity. Pakva koro. Then Panchama Shlokete Nija Siddha Deha Varo. Then in the 5th verse, Varo means accept, embrace. Your Nija means your Siddha, perfected Deha, body. So then embrace your own spiritual body. And the 5th verse is the stage of, God, we looked at the chart yesterday. Was it Ruchi or Asakti? Let's just look at it again really quick. I thought it was, there it is. 5th verse is Ruchi. So I guess at the stage of Ruchi, I mean, this is just what I'm understanding from here. At the stage of Ruchi, it's like that's the very beginning. You start getting an indication of what your permanent sthai bhav, your permanent feelings, the way that you love Krishna starts at Ruchi. That's just my speculation from reading this. Because he's saying at the 5th verse, Nayanam Gaudara, sorry, not, sorry, that's, what is it? Ashlishava Pararatam Pinashtumam. Then accept your Siddha Deha. Embrace your spiritual body. Oi shloke Siddha Dehe, but you're not yet qualified for it. You like accept it, but you're not qualified for it. Because he says that you become qualified in the 6th verse right here. Right? He says Adhikar Hoilo. But now you're just getting an indication of it, I think, at Aruchi. So then, oi shloke. So in that fifth verse, Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram, Siddha Dehe Radha Padashray. Within your Siddha Deha, Radha Padashray, take shelter of Shri Radha's feet. And Aramba Koriya Krame Unnati Udoy. And then you'll begin to gradually Unnati Udoy, advance. That will gradually arise. Your advancement will arise gradually when you begin taking shelter of Radha's feet in your Siddha Deha at the stage of Ruchi. Yeah, and I think it's at the stage of Ruchi, that's when everything really starts to take off, right? That's when the Unnati, when the advancement, Udoy, arises very quickly. Up until that point, up until Nishta, everything's like a struggle, right? And then once we get to Ruchi, and we start to get a taste and oh, I love Krishna in this way, and then very quickly that's when you really begin, that's when you begin practicing Raganuga Bhakti, and you take shelter of Sri Radha's lotus feet, and yes, Unnati Udoy. Then Choy Shloka, but still you haven't attained the qualification for your Siddhadeha. So Choy Shloka Bhajite Anartha Dure Gelo Tabe Jano Siddhadehe Adhikara Hoilo. Then by practicing bhajite, engaging in bhajan or practicing according to the Choy Shlok, the sixth verse, then Anartha Dure Gelo. Then all your anarthas, all your unwanted worldly attachments, bad habits, inclinations, all the unwanted things will duregelo, will go far away. Tabe jano siddha dehe adhikar hoilo. And so then when all these anarthas have gone far away, tabe means then, jano, you should know that adhikar hoilo, you've gained eligibility for your siddha deha. The eligibility for this spiritual body has been achieved at the stage of asakti. But if before the stage of asakti, when you haven't gotten that adhikar, that qualification, that eligibility for engaging in your spiritual body and your siddha deha, adhikar na labhiya, siddha deha bhave. So without having attained your true adhikar, your eligibility, and siddha deha bhave, and you try to think of a spiritual body, then viparyay buddhi janme shaktir abhave. Then backwards intelligence, backwards, um, you know, very, yeah, viparya means backwards. We saw so many different, what are the opposition, contrary, reverse, confusion, destruction, devastation, disaster, peril, ruin. This very negative kind of buddhi, intelligence, Janme will take birth. Why? Because shaktir abhave, because you lack shakti, spiritual strength. Abhave means lack, shakti. So sabadhane, therefore, be very careful. Sabadhane means carefully. Krama dhoro, follow this progressive path. Jadi siddhi chao, if you desire spiritual perfection, if you desire siddhi. Sadhur charita deki, shuddha buddhi pao. Then observing, dekhiya means observing the charita, the character of the sadhus, shuddha buddhi pao. Then you'll attain, you attain this pure buddhi, not this viparya buddhi, this backwards so-called intelligence, but no, shuddha buddhi, pure intelligence. Gain this by observing the character of sadhus, not just trying to imitate them. Not anukaran means imitate, but no, anusaran. I'm going to follow the behavior of sadhus. I'm not going to try to pretend that I'm like them and imitate them, but I'm going to follow the process behind them. Dhai tava pache pache, right? So Then Siddha Deha Peye Krame Bhajana Korile. So having observed the character of sadhus and getting Shuddha Buddhi, pure intelligence, and Siddha Deha Peye, having attained your Siddha Deha, then Krame Bhajana Korile. Then when you engage in bhajan gradually in sequence, then Ashtakal Seva Sukh Anayase Mile. Then Anayase means without any effort, very easily. Anayase. You will meet with, you will gain Ashtakal Seva Sukh. The sukh, the happiness of seva, of service, performed throughout the 8 periods of the day in Krishna's pastimes. Okay, so if we follow this process of the Shikṣāṣṭaka, you engage in bhajan according to the sequence of Shikṣāṣṭaka, then after attaining your Siddhadeha, without effort, easily, you'll attain the bliss of service throughout the 8 periods of the day. Therefore, Shikṣāṣṭaka chinta koro smarana kirtan. Krame ashtakala seva habe udipan. Therefore, Shikṣāṣṭaka chinta, contemplate the Shikṣāṣṭaka. Koro smarana kirtan, and engage in smaran and kirtan. Then krame, gradually, ashtakala seva habe udipan. Then service throughout the 8 periods of the day will habe udipan, will be awakened. Will be. I want to see more synonyms for udipan. Udipan. Oops. Here, udipan. Stimulation, aggravation, augmentation, blazing up, illumination. Okay. Then Sakala Anartha Jabe Pabe Prem Dhan. So all the different anarthas, Jabe will go, and what will come in its place? Pabe Prem Dhan, and you will get the treasure of Prem Dhan. And at that time, Chatur Varga Phalgu Prai Habe Adarshan. Then all the aims of mundane life, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, will become very insignificant, will be Phalgu, useless. And actually, they'll completely disappear from sight. Habe Adarshan. You won't even know about it. So that is the Shikṣāṣṭaka Siddha Pranali, the methodology of attaining perfection through Shikṣāṣṭaka. Okay. I think maybe I'll go through and explain the Bengali a few times, and then after that we'll just recite the Bengali because hopefully you'll understood the meaning of all the words in this verse. One thing I noticed, this word akram comes how many times? There's how many verses are there? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so there are 10 verses. And within these 10 verses, the word kram, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7. Wow. So in 10 verses, the word kram, sequence, comes 7 times. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is really emphasizing how we need to not jump. We need to follow the sequence. Do it gradually. Don't be too excited. Don't rush. Don't try to make any shortcuts. But no, we have to follow the sequence, the kram of Shikṣāṣṭaka. 7 times in 10 verses, he's mentioning that. The kram, the kram, the kram. All right. So today's going to be a short program because I started late. Oh wait, but first let me see all who's joined. Dandavat Pranams, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Chatamai Mataji, Sarveshwari Mataji, Prajumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Gargarajji, Ganga Mataji, Vidyalala Sadidi. I don't know who else is there. Maybe Rohini Nandan Prabhu, maybe Indira Mataji. Um, I don't know, Raseshwari Mataji. And then all the devotees watching in the future, like Revati Didi and Shachi Devi, Jayadev Prabhu, and everybody else, Dandavat Pranams. If you write a comment, I'll see your name. So today I wanted to go through. So we saw now how Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur introduces the um, the first verse of Shikshashtak. He begins the chapter first with two pranam mantras to Gaur Hari, both related to Sankirtan, how Mahaprabhu instructed us to perform Sankirtan, then the glories of Hari Nam, the glories of Nam, which is that in Satya Yuga, everything that you get in meditation, performing meditation for hundreds of thousands of years, all that result is easily attained in Kali Yuga just by chanting Govinda Kirtan, engaging in Govinda Kirtan. And this Harinam destroys more sin than the most sinful person can commit. And Kirtan is much greater than Smaran, which is a process of Satyuga, which we just heard, right? Because Smaran requires lots of efforts to concentrate the mind and try to remember. It's so difficult. But Kirtan, you just move your lips and then it's performed. Bas, just moving your lips. It's as easy as that. And then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Bengali verse says that Smaran and Kirtan is far superior to Archan. And then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives a verse that says, after performing Archan perfectly of Vasudev for 100 lifetimes, then you'll be able to chant Harinam. That's how far superior it is to Archan. It's like the fruit of performing Archan for 100 lifetimes is engaging in Nam Sankirtan. Then he goes through, explains how the Hare Krishna Mahamantra relates to the different levels of, Shraddha Sadhusanga Bhajana Kriya, and it removes more anarthas, it removes more anarthas, it removes more anarthas until we attain prem. But at any point we'll fall down if we are in asat sangha. So then he gives these two verses, says that it's better to embrace it's better to be burned by fire or imprisoned in a cage or embrace a snake, a tiger, or alligator than to be in asat sangha. He gives two verses that explain that. Then he explains, so now that we understand the whole sequence to prem and what we need to be careful of, now we have to start from the beginning, which is chanting Nam, even at our very low stage, when it's just, we're not chanting the pure name yet. And so then he introduces the Shikshāṣṭaka like that. And then he gives, then all those verses that we just went through now. And then after that, he gives a verse, Ceto-darpaṇa Marjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. We didn't recite Shikshāṣṭakam yet. Let's do that now. Okay, wait, before we do that. So then he gives that verse of Shikshāṣṭakam, and then he explains, he gives explanations of this first verse of Shikshāṣṭakam, quoting from Srimad Bhagavatam, from all different scriptures, illuminating each one of these 7 excellent results that Krishnanam Sankirtan bestows. So let's now recite the Shikshāṣṭakam. That's what we do at each program. Can't find it though. Dang it. One second. It should be here. I opened up too many files yesterday. One by one. There it is. Okay. Ceto-darpaṇa Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. So now we're going to hear about how Krishna Sankirtan, how it Ceto-darpaṇa Marjanam, how it cleanses the mirror of the heart. How Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam, how it extinguishes the blazing forest fire of material existence. How, um, what is it? Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, how it diffuses the moonbeams of Bhav upon the white lotus of good fortune, causing it to bloom. And how it is Vidya Vadujivanam, how it is the life and soul of Vidya Devi, the goddess of transcendental knowledge, who is his consort. And how it Anandam Buddhivardhanam, how it increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and Pratipadam Purnamrta Swadanam, how it causes the soul to relish complete nectar at every step, and Sarvatma Snapanam, how it enables one to be fully bathed, purified, and soothed inside and out. So Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Let there be supreme victory for the congregational chanting of Shri Krishna's holy names. Today we'll probably only get through Ceto-darpaṇa Marjanam. Let's see. Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shaktis tatrarpita niyamita smaranena kala etadrishi tava kripa bhagavan mamapi durdaiva medrishamiha janina nuraga Trinarapi sunichena tororapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sada hari na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadesh kamaye mama janmani janmanishvare bhavatar bhaktir ahaituki tvayi ainandatanu jakinkaram पतितां मां विषमे भवां बुधौ कृपया तव पारपङ्कजा स्थितधूलि सदृशं विचिन्तया नयनं गलरशुधारया वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा पुलकायनिचितं निचितं वपु कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्रवृषायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे आश्लेषवापाररतं पिनष्टु माम् अदर्शनान्मर्माहतं करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव न परा. Okay. So now let's look at, we're going to Bhajana-rahasya Pratam Yam Sadam. Bhajana-rahasya verse 12. Just really quickly, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, so he's now going to go through, he's first explains Ceto-darpaṇa Marjanam, first beginning, quoting from Srila Rupa Goswami's Krishna Namashtak. He establishes, so we know the meaning of Ceto-darpaṇa Marjanam, right? It means Cheta. I actually don't know the subtle differences between the word Cheta and Antakarana, and that's something that would be really helpful to become like fully clear on. But Cheta is our consciousness, our heart, our all these. I don't know what the difference is between Antakarana and Cheta actually, but Chitta means Chit is that which like Sat Chit Ananda, right? Chit is consciousness, our awareness, it's knowledge, our understanding, it's that by which we are conscious and aware and have knowledge. And so Cheta is that the thing that makes us conscious and aware and have knowledge. And our heart, our internal, our real self is full of that consciousness. So that's the Cheta, is the self. But our self, our chitta, our heart, our soul is covered by lots of dust. And our self is compared to a mirror, a darpan. And so when this darpan, when this mirror of the self is covered with lots of dust, heaps of dust accumulated over since time and without beginning, then the mirror has no use. When you look at it, you don't see anything but dust. And so this Nam Sankirtan is Marjanam. It cleanses this dust from the mirror of the heart. And when we fully remove all the dust, then we will be able to see ourselves completely, purely reflected through it. Then we'll have, and that's when we become established in our real, true nature. But yeah, first we need to cleanse this dust, and the best method for doing that is Nam Sankirtan. And so Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he'll give this verse from Rupa Goswami's Krishna Namashtaka, which describes how the ultimate cleaning method that destroys all types of distress and all these anarthas, it's the most beautiful. It's Chir Ghana Sukha Surup. It is the embodiment of spiritual chit, that word chit again, right? Cheta, chit, the Ceto-darpaṇa, Ceto-darpaṇa. So chid, spiritual conscious, ghana means it's condensed, ghana, happiness, sukha. So that's the cleaning method, the chid ghana sukha, Harinam. And such a beautiful verse actually from Krishna Namashtaka. And then he'll go through and explain other types of cleaning methods that other people propagate for cleaning the heart, like Ashtanga yoga, Gyan. He doesn't even mention karma. He's like, what to speak of karma? Even Gyan doesn't have. Yeah, the rest of the verses. He explains the futility of other methods for cleaning the heart compared to bhakti, compared to the name. So let's look through those verses now. Okay. So first, Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives these two verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bengali verses. Sankirtana hoite papa sangsara nashan chitta shuddhi sarva bhakti sadhan urgam Krishna premurgam premamrita asvadan Krishna prapti sevamrita samudre majan. So Sankirtan hoite. From Sankirtan, pap, sangsara nashan. The ocean of sins is nashan, destroyed, by chanting, by engaging in Nam Sankirtan. And Chitta Shuddhi, the heart or the consciousness becomes purified. And Sarva Bhakti Sadhan Urgam, and all the practices of all the different types of practices of bhakti, Urgam, will arise then. And then once you engage in all these practices, all the sadhana of bhakti, then Krishna Premurgam. First is all the activities of bhakti Udgam will arise, then Krishna Premurgam. Then Krishna Prem will arise. And one will taste, will relish, aswadan, premamrita, the nectar of prem. And then Krishna Prapti, once one attains that prem, relishing the nectar of prem, then Krishna Prapti, one attains Krishna. And Sevamrita Samudre Majan. And then one becomes immersed. Majan means completely drowned, immersed in the ocean, in the samudra of Sevamrita, of the nectar of service. So this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, explaining this verse. Now, as I said, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur now tells the supreme method for cleansing. He quotes Srila Rupa Goswami's Krishna Namashtaka, verse 7, describes how the holy name is the embodiment of concentrated transcendental bliss and knowledge. So let's recite this verse. Such a beautiful verse. Here, just making it easier to read. Okay. Let me get bigger. Sudita Shrita Janarti Rashaye Ramyachid Ghana Sukha Swarupine Nama Gokula Mahutsavayate Krishna Purna Vapushe Namo Nama. So, O destroyer of the numerous sufferings of those who have taken shelter of you. Right? Because what happens from, actually, I'll just read the translation, then I'll explain it. Then, O embodiment of delightful transcendental bliss. O great festival for the residents of Gokul. O all-pervading one. O Krishna Nam. Time and again, I offer respects to you who are replete with these qualities. Let's look at the Sanskrit now. So, O you, I think this is all in the Sambodhan case. It's all I'm saying, oh you, oh you, oh you. See, it ends with a, or yeah. So, what is this? I don't know Sanskrit, so I'm just trying to figure it out. Rashi means the heap, the mass of arti means of sufferings, all this klesh, jana of the people, all these from all this karma that everybody engages in, then they get all this ashrit means take shelter of these people, all this, right? No, 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 no. Sorry, ashrit means those who ashrit the jan. Sorry, guys. I'm starting to understand it. I just looked at the translation. Now I'm getting it. So ashrita jan means those who have taken shelter of Krishna. And so for those people who have the ashrita jan, for those who have taken shelter of Krishna, or are Harinam, who have taken shelter of Harinam, arti rashaye, the heap, the mass of sufferings, sudita. You're the destroyer of that. You, sudita. You completely eradicate, destroy all those sufferings. So that's an example of Ceto-darpaṇa Marjanam, right? Because from our condition, all this ignorance that we have of this stuff, that's the root of all our suffering, of all the klesh, right? Um, of all the arti, all the sufferings. And so, like Harinam destroys, cleanses the mirror of the heart and destroys all the sufferings, so Harinam is like that. For anybody who takes shelter of Harinam, it destroys all their sufferings. Then, and what is that Harinam? We know what it does, that it removes all the sufferings, but that's the negative thing. What is it? The positive thing is it's Ramya Chir Ghana Sukha Surupine. It is the Surup, it is the very embodiment of Ramya means delightful. Chid means spiritual, transcendental consciousness. And Ghana means condensed, Sukha, happiness. So it is the embodiment of delightful, transcendental, blissful, condensed happiness. And O Nam, you are Gokula Mahotsava. You are, and it's actually no. This is now it's in the dative case, right? So that means unto you. I offer obeisances unto you, O Harinam, who is the festival, the Mahotsav of Gokul. O Krishna, Purna Vapushe. What's Purna Vapushe? I don't actually. It says all pervading one. Oh no, replete with these qualities. Yeah, okay. So your form, your vapu, is purna, is fully filled with all these qualities. That's what I'm guessing. Okay, that was my attempt without actually knowing the Sanskrit at all, without looking at it beforehand. So then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives these verses explaining this. Let's see. He says, Ashrita janer saba artanasha kori ati ramya chirghana sarupe bihari. So that means destroying nashakori, nashakoriya, destroying all the sub-arti, all the distress of ashrita janer, of those who have taken shelter of you, O Harinam. Atti ramya chirghana sarupe bihari. You, as the embodiment of extremely pleasing, delightful, atti ramya, chirghana, pure, condensed, transcendental happiness, vihari. You revel there. You are the delight. the reveler. I don't know, Bihari. Then Gokuler Mahotsav Krishna Purnarup. You are the Mahotsav of Gokul. Oh Krishna, you are the full form. You are the complete embodiment of the festival, the great bliss of Gokul. So Heno Nam Nomi Prem Pai Aparup. So such a name, Namya, means offering obeisances to that name, Prem Pai Aparup. Then I attain the Aparup, the unparalleled name. Sorry, Prem. Aparupa Krishna Nitra. Aparup means, right? Unparalleled. Aparup. Amazing, unnatural, phenomenal, wonderful, singular, exceptional. I attain that prem. Nam Sankirtana hoy, Sarvanartanash, Sarva Shubhodoy Krishne Premer Ulas. Hey, this last verse is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So through Nam Sankirtan, all anarthas are destroyed. Nam Sankirtane hoy, Sarvanartanash, Sarva Shubhodoy, and all auspiciousness arises. Krishne Premer Ulas. And one delights, one blossoms in Krishna Prem. There's yeah. Okay, so that was a beautiful verse explaining the ultimate cleaning method, the way to clean the heart. So not only is it with this Harinam, not only is it very effective at just at cleaning the mirror of the heart, and it destroys all the sufferings and everything, but at the same time, it's just full of condensed transcendental bliss, delightful bliss. Ramya Chir Ghana Sukh. So in the process of cleaning, you're also experiencing the greatest delight. So now, so that is Harinam. And now it's now 8 o'clock, so we'll go through the rest tomorrow. But now he's going to explain the path of Ashtanga Yoga. You know, they say that's the way to clean the heart. That's like the whole thing of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. That's like the whole, it's all about that, right? Cleaning the consciousness so that we can, that's like the goal of it, right? But he explains how um, the mind that is disturbed by the enemies of lust, anger, greed, and so forth does not become as subdued or peaceful by practicing yam and niyam on the path of Ashtanga Yoga as it does by performing service to Sri Mukunda, which brings it completely under control. Okay, so that's Harinam is so much better than trying to perform the process of yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. Then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives this verse, Yoge Shuddha Kori Chitte Ekagraha Kore Bahustale Ekatar Vyatikram Dhore. So through yoga, Shuddha Kori, trying to purify through yoga, the inside the heart, Ekagraha Kore, trying to bring it Bahustale Ekatar Vyatikram Kore Dhare. Anyways, it's now 8 o'clock, and I'm going to look at these verses so that I can understand them better, so that I can explain them tomorrow. Yeah. But okay, that was Ashtanga Yoga. Then the next verse talks about Gyan and Karma, how they're condemned. These are other methods. People try to purify themselves through knowledge. But even pure knowledge, which is the direct sadhana to attain liberation, has no beauty. There's no shobha, right? Na shobhate. It has no beauty. Shobha also means shining, if it is devoid of devotion to Sri Bhagavan. It's not gonna if itself doesn't shine, if there's no shobha to it, how's it gonna make the mirror of your heart shine? So how can selfless action, nishkam karma, which is not offered to the Supreme Lord, and fruit of action, kamya karma, which is always inauspicious, both in its practice and perfection, be beautiful? No. So these are also useless methods for trying to clean yourself. And then finally he goes through this verse, Famous verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Brahma's prayers, how devotional service unto you, it's Shreya Satyam Bhakti Mudasyate Vibho. O Lord, devotional service unto you is the main source of all kinds of auspiciousness. Those who give up this path, this cleaning method, only to cultivate jnana, they'll simply undergo hard work, suffer pain, and achieve difficulty. Just as the only gain of a person who bears empty husks is hard work, not rice. So what is the rice? Rice is, for us, is prem, right? That's everything that we're doing in our practice is so that we can ultimately come to the stage of bhav when we start to begin the process of prem, right? So we want prem and we want this rice. But if you're trying um, to just purify yourself by trying to cultivate knowledge, then you're just going to do lots of hard work. And instead of getting rice, all you're going to get is the suffering of all this hard work. Nothing will come of it. You won't, right? So bhakti patachari kore jnaner prayas, miche kashta pai tar hoy sarvanash. Ati kashte tushakuti tandula na pai, bhakti shunya jnane tata vritta dina jai. So having given up the path of bhakti, those who endeavor, prayas, who engage in cultivating gyan, miche kashta. Miche means useless, kashta, difficulty, exertion, pai. All they get is useless exertion, working hard for nothing. Tar hoy saranash, and everything becomes destroyed for them. So it's like ati kashte, with great difficulty, with great effort. Tusha kuti. So that means beating the husks of rice. Tandula napai, but you don't get any rice. Tandula means rice. Napai, you don't get it. So in the same way, bhakti shunya jnane, by cultivating jnana without bhakti, devoid of bhakti, tata vritta dinajai. Tata, from that, vritta dinajai. Useless days just pass by. Your days pass by uselessly. So these are all the verses Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur quotes, showing the superiority of the cleaning method of Harinam, and the useless other methods for trying to clean the Ceto-darpaṇa, the mirror of the heart. All right, so tomorrow, and I want to try to understand the Sanskrit of those verses a little bit more so that I could explain it better. But then, yeah, tomorrow we'll go through the other Bhava Mahadavagni Nirapanam, which verses he quotes to explain that, and all the other 6. Yeah, all right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai, Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai, Shri Param Gurudev Ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Swaparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopikan Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Jai Shri Krishna Nam Nam Sankirtan ki jai, Śrī Śikṣāṣṭaka ki jai, Śrī Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai, Jai Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Bhajana-rahasya ki jai, Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsidevai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattvatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams. Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Chatamai Mataji, Sarveshwari Mataji, Prajumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Gargrajji, Ganga Mataji, Vidyalala Sadidi, and all the other devotees. I'm not sure if Rohini Nandan Prabhu is there, Indira Mataji, and all the devotees watching in the future, like Jaidev Prabhu, Shachi Devi, and Revati Didi, and everybody else. Dandavat pranams. Thanks so much for joining. And as I mentioned yesterday, I like we were just about to move on to verse 2 of Shikshashtak, but then I realized that if somebody asked me to explain this, what we just went through in Bhajana-rahasya, I wouldn't be able to say anything. So it's pretty much like I didn't actually retain anything. I'm not able to leave that chapter holding on to anything. And so I thought, yeah, better, let's just go through it again, just a little bit more slowly and see what we can, even if it's just theoretical, but it's good to at least have something. So now I'm a bit more clear now that we've spent some more days going through this. And I hope you're getting some, it's starting to make a little bit more sense, even if it's not realization, but even just on the mental platform. That's got to start somewhere. Oh, Dandavat pranams, Bilbo Mangal Prabhu, Dandavat pranams. Haribol. Okay, Haribol. So great to have you, Prabhu. Haribol. All right, Dandavat pranams. Is there anything anybody wants to mention before we finish our program for today? All right, see you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe. Haribol. Oh, wait.